Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Counselor Advocacy for the Jewish University Experience Virtual College Fair. Thank you so much for being with us. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. This is a fair that features 6 colleges, each presenting for 6 minutes. You can use the Q&A button on your screen at any point to type questions to our presenters. Your camera and microphone are off, so our panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so please sign up for more. And this presentation will be recorded and will be available within about a week at strivescan.com/Jewish Student Fair. And with that, I'll turn it over to our first presenter, and that is the University of Southern California.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon to everyone joining us here today on a lovely Sunday here in LA. It is bright and sunny as well, so we know that summer and spring are here. My name is Jamie Black. My pronoun are she, her, hers, and I'll go ahead and start sharing my screen. I want to see if I can start doing that to get the presentation going. Layla, did you want me to go ahead and share my screen?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, fantastic. It says that I have to wait for just a moment.
Okay. I can stop the share too and see if that speeds.
Okay, fantastic. All right. Well, welcome everyone. Again, my name is Jamie Black. I'm so excited to speak to you all today about USC, the University of Southern California. The University of Southern California is located in Los Angeles, California, and USC recognizes that we are on the Tonga land of the Tonga people. We have about 20,000 undergraduate students here at USC, and we are a large school. So you'll see our student to faculty ratios are actually pretty small for being a small school. We have an 8-to-1 student to faculty ratio and only about an average class size of 26. And you may have heard about USC, but you may not know what we're all about here. So USC really does focus on the student experience. Really one of the parts that I really like to highlight is our focus on interdisciplinary studies. So what this means is that you can mix and match your academic passions truly without missing anything out here at USC. So that means you can be an architecture major and also minor in dance, or you can be an engineering major and double major in music. There's a lot of opportunities for you to mix and match your academic passions truly without giving anything up here at USC. And we recognize that in our students, so we actually create a lot of programs that are interdisciplinary in nature. For example, we have our CSBA program. So for students that are interested in computer science and business administration, this is a great program that not only takes faculty from both of these areas, but actually conducts courses that overlap in these two areas as well. We have the Ivy and Young Academy, which we dubbed the Dr. Dre School because Dr. Dre, the entrepreneur, really founded this here at USC. This combines things like design and music, but also technology and business to really make the strong entrepreneur when you graduate from a place like USC. Next, we'd like to talk about research. So research in a place like USC is really important because we are a research one university. So we do look for a lot of strong academics for students to really dive into their subject outside of the classroom. So for a lot of students, a lot of people think you have to be in a white lab coat and you have to use a beaker and you have to be in some crazy lab to conduct research. You can do research with every single academic interdisciplinary kind of focus here at USC. So a lot of students really do research in things that they're majoring in or things that they're just interested in. Next, we'd like to talk about the global perspective. The global perspective is really important at USC because we truly do not believe that your learning is conducted just within the 4 walls of your classroom. We want you to go outside of the classroom and really push the world around you. That's why we design a lot of our own study abroad programs. So we have over 50 different study abroad programs, and a lot of those programs actually take you to different countries with our faculty members. So we have a program called Problems Without Passports that actually you get to study at USC in the spring with a broad issue, like let's say climate change. And then you get to go to these countries with our faculty members to really dive into these subjects. For example, our faculty members like to travel to the Netherlands to look how they're studying and researching the adverse effects of climate change. And we can't not talk about USC without talking about LA. So we are in the city of Los Angeles, so there are ton of opportunities for students. So yes, students can travel to the snow and the beach all in one day. It's a pretty great trek that students like to do when they're here at USC, but it also means you have a really rich city experience. A lot of our programs are specific to LA. So we know that we're in the downtown LA area. So we have a lot of great programs that focus on going into the neighborhood and kind of touching with those and speaking to those people. We also have a great program called Peaks and Professors. Peaks and Professors takes our students outside into the nature of California to really explore the world around them. So our faculty will take our students actually to Joshua Tree, for example, and they'll be able to take photos of the midnight sky and really kind of learn from our photography professors. Next, let's talk about campus life. We have a really rich campus life here at USC with over 1,001 student organizations. There are ways that you can get involved outside of the classroom. Anywhere from our D1 sports or also just being a fan or an intramural sport participant, organizations in regards to sororities and fraternities, orgs that students are interested in their major, maybe outside, maybe something of the sort. We want our students to really get hands-on experience here at USC. And then finally, the Trojan family. The Trojan family is truly lifelong and worldwide, and that is your set, not blood-related family, but community of students that really understand what it's like to be at USC. So that's your alumni network if you want to go ahead and get a job, or if you really want to talk to someone about starting your own research experience or your own practice in something. Your Trojan family will be there to help. And next, let's talk about Jewish life at USC. So USC represents about 10 to 13% Jewish students in any given year. And USC has its own Hallel on campus as well, Chabad. So students are able to do daily practice as well as just practice the high holy days and are able to get letters for and excuses from classes as well. USC's Jewish life too is really rich in regards to the cultural experience. So our Hallel does something called Fresh Fest, which is a day experience where they invite Jewish students on our campus to learn from upperclassmen and to understand what it's like to be Jewish, not only at USC, but in LA in general. We also have a Jewish Studies major too, which is really popular with students as well. We have the USC Shoah Foundation. So if you're interested in getting more information about research, they actually work with a lot of Holocaust survivors, and it's actually a really great experience. I got to go to a lot of talks this semester from the USC Shoah Foundation. And Jewish students just want to hang out too. We really like kind of meeting new people. So there's a ton of student organizations too. A lot of them are academic as well. So Jewish students are able to connect across that as well. We also have kosher style food as well as some options for kosher food within our campus dining experience. And then finally, I like to tell the students we do have a Jewish leadership scholarship. So when you apply to USC as a freshman, you'll get some information about applying to that scholarship as well. And then next, we kind of like to quickly talk about the application process before I run out of time here. So USC really does focus on a holistic review, which means we truly review every single part of your application to understand who you are. Our admissions is never based solely on numbers or cutoffs or GPAs or anything of that sort. We have territory managers for each of our territories that we review applications. So I'm a territory manager for Boston, Massachusetts, as well as San Jose, California, and we truly understand your school and the context of which you come. And just some important dates to note too. When you apply to USC, we don't have early action or early decision. December 1 is our merit-based scholarship deadline. So again, if you're interested in any of our merit-based admission scholarships, you can absolutely apply for those. And any of our talent-based programs too. So if you're interested in Ivy and Young Academy, like I mentioned, music, dance, things of that sort, you'll want to apply by December 1st. And then January 15th is just our secondary deadline in which you can apply. And then just kind of finally, I know this is a very quick introduction to USC. I am more than happy to answer any questions you have after the presentation, or feel free to reach out to me via email as well. I'll go ahead and drop my information in the chat. Thank you all for coming, and fight on, future Trojans. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Our next presenter is Simmons University.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mary Pura. I use she, her pronouns. I'm one of the admission counselors over here at Simmons University in Boston, Massachusetts. So let's travel back to the other side of the country here. And if you like snow, keep that in mind. And I'm going to just dive into some kind of quick facts and figures about life at Simmons. Some of you that are coming from maybe more of the greater Boston areas probably already have heard at Simmons. I have worked with students in the area, but some of you may not have heard of Simmons. And we like to say that we're one of the best kept secrets in Boston area because of course, one of the big things about Boston is that there's so many schools in the area. So just to give you sort of a quick snip of the entire facts that I have here, we have around 1,800 undergraduate students. So we do have a small liberal arts school. So you're going to have those small class sizes, about 15 average class sizes, 8:1 student to faculty ratio. So you're going to get to know your professors are going to get to know you. We do also have a rather large and growing graduate student population, and that's in part because we do have a lot of accelerated programs that you'll see sort of in the later page. So some options for you to go straight into doing master's work, depending on what you're interested in doing. So a lot of different pathways. So with 60+ majors and programs, and a lot of offerings throughout the way. And just in terms of who we are at Simmons, another kind of prime aspect of who we are is we are a women's-centered institution. So women's-centered for those undergraduate students, but also co-ed for graduate students. So if you're looking into or possibly considering the women's college, women's-centered experience, I attended one myself. I love talking about them and the many benefits and the incredible classroom experience, the incredibly empowering classroom experience. And also the fact that you are in the city of Boston, so able to have that amazing classroom experience and putting that out to use right into the real world. But of course, another attribute of us is that we are located in the Boston area. We're very much involved in the community. So there's 300,000 total students in Boston. So as soon as you really enter this area, you become a part of a really great tradition of college students in the area. And you can kind of see the Simmons iconic cupola there marking our location right in the Fenway area of Boston. So right within so many great centers of culture, right next door to the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum, the Museum of Fine Arts, all of which you get into for free. Also right down the street from Fenway Park. So if you're not a Red Sox fan, you'll have to become one in order to attend. And of course, just a quick tea stop away from all of the many great access points throughout the city. So it's really up to you to choose how much you interact with Simmons, how much you interact with the city around you. We do have the benefit of having the best of both worlds, of having that private campus with that classic quintessential green. So it's really up to you, what days you really want to go off and venture around the city, and which ones maybe you want to just stick and study in the library. So I'll let you kind of take a quick scan over at some of our majors and minors, pretty much everything under the sun. Some of our more popular majors, especially at Simmons, would be our nursing and physical therapy programs. Those are very popular, partly because we're located right in the area, the Longwood medical area. So down the street from Harvard Med School, Boston Children's Hospital, Brigham and Women, Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. So many different opportunities for our students to engage in research, internships, clinicals, so everything. So very heavily involved. And then, as I mentioned, there's a lot of accelerated programs that we offer. You can see that on the right. You'll see, so if you're going into as a first year, you want to maybe apply for some of our 3+1 programs. So that's 3 years in undergrad, going straight to that 4th year, getting your master's. So if you want to get your bachelor's in like either econ or public policy or soc, you could do that for 3 years. And then for that 4th, get your master's in public policy. So right there within 4 years, you got 2 degrees. So that's a very popular option. And that goes also into computer science, into social work. Social work is also a very popular, well-renowned program that we do offer. And then if you also scan down here to the bottom, we have a new program, our dual bachelor's of science program. So essentially what that would be is you would spend 3 years at Simmons majoring in any STEM related fields. And then for that extra 2 years, you would attend Columbia University, where you would get your other bachelors in engineering. So within that 5-year period, you're coming away with 2 bachelor's degrees. One of them is in engineering, and we've never really offered an engineering pathway before. So I highly recommend if you are interested in going down that path, this is one of our exciting new programs. And then of course you can also see here, you can major really in whatever you like and also do a side of pre-law or pre-med advising. Some kind of key takeaways here in terms of what a Simmons student is like. Those are sort of the 3 components, being 1, a fierce advocate, another, a person who's ready for work. So part of the requirements for attending Simmons and for graduating is doing some form of real world learning. So whether it's an internship, a clinical or research project, a thesis, any of those. And so that's really going to be growing your resume. So that's sort of key figures to be taking away. And leadership is also going to be a key element of taking those leadership courses. And then finally, of course, I can answer any kind of questions in the chat box, but just to let you know, just a little smidge about Hello Life at Simmons. We are part of the Office of Spiritual Life. Throughout this year, you can kind of see that the life has been even incredibly vibrant, even in the virtual world. So you can see the e-board here. They do like 3 to 4 events a week still virtually, which is amazing. And you can kind of see an old photo of one of the founding members in 1917. We are in a really prominent area. So Boston area, we're close walking distance to 7 synagogues. We're right in the Brookline area where so many of our students are able to observe the high holidays, take part in a bunch of different seminars and community networking. And we do offer kosher meal access in terms of private kitchens. And we also work with some of the local colleges like BU where they ship in some of their meals to students for certain holidays. But if you have any other questions, you can also contact the director, Marian Berkowitz-Blue. She's awesome, always looking for new members. So that's my quick wrap up of that, but definitely feel free to reach out to me and hopefully I can answer any detailed questions in the chat box. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Simmons. Our next presenter is William and Mary.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Megan Madler, she, her, from William and Mary. I am going to do my best to get through everything I can here in the next 6 minutes, but of course there's so much more to William and Mary, so if you have a chance to check out our website here, you'll see a little bit more information on things like majors and traditions and what we require for the application. So although I'll probably not get to a lot of that stuff today, that is a great place to start. Another great place to start right here, you see our Wren building, which is the oldest educational building in continuous use. William and Mary was chartered in 1693, making us a pretty old institution, but we do have a history of student-focused innovation, which I think is what makes us truly unique. All right. Oops. So we are in the Tidewater area of Virginia, so about an hour away from Norfolk and Virginia Beach, roughly an hour away from Richmond. We're about 2.5 hours from Washington, D.C. So we do have a study away center in Washington, D.C. where you can typically pair an internship with or research experience with an academic course. We also have our Virginia Institute of Marine Science about half an hour away in Gloucester Point. So if you're interested in anything about marine science or doing any research there, that is the place to go. About 6,000 undergraduate students. I like that number. You know, it's small enough that you see everybody on campus that you know. We have small class sizes, some great student-professor relationships, but at the same time, we have Division I athletics, over 450 different clubs and organizations. And plenty of research available for students. So all things that you'll find at really a large research institution. We do have a strong collaborative community, I think due in part to, you know, students living on campus. About 70% of our students are on campus at any given time, as well as all of those different clubs and organizations. About third of our students are identifying as students of color. About 10% of our students are identifying as first in their family to go to college. Roughly 8 to 9% of our student population at any given time identify as Jewish. So with our student-run clubs and organizations, we do have a wide range of things represented, from identity-based organizations, interest-based organizations, religious life, Greek life, volunteer organizations, all the way to the slightly more obscure. So we do have a blacksmithing guild, a birdwatching club. We've got some calligraphy clubs. One of the cool things is that we are that many and counting, not capped. So if you are really interested in starting up your own club or organization here at William & Mary, you're welcome to do so, and you are able to make your own mark on the university. We do have the Shankman Jewish Center on campus, which is the Center for Jewish Life at William & Mary. They have religious services, community, different community building activities. They are the center for a couple of different more campus-wide activities as well. So it's a great place to go. All right, so a little bit about academics at William & Mary. Again, this is a place where you have a lot of flexibility. So you will come into William & Mary undeclared. You've got 2 years to figure out what you want to do, how you want to get there. You'll be working with an advisor the entire time. We do have a liberal arts backbone to our degree. So we were one of the first schools in the nation to have a liberal arts focus of study. We also had the first program of elective study, which we represent in our degree today. So a third of your degree will be sort of those major specific classes. Another third will be that call or college curriculum, which is kind of those prescribed classes, but somewhere where you get a lot of flexibility. You get to choose classes that will fit your interests, maybe explore other interests, or prepare you for pre-professional programs. And then the last third of the degree is that elective study. We also have a lot of study abroad. We're the #1 public university in the nation for undergraduate study abroad participation. We've got a couple of unique programs there. So we've got everything lasting from a week over maybe a spring break or a winter break, all the way to 2 years with our joint degree program with St. Andrews and Scotland. We've also got a myriad of different programs that are sort of the shorter term to full-time. Our Reef Center on campus, which is a Center for Global Study, will help you find a place that you really want to go. If we don't have a program going there, which we've had programs go to every continent, they will work with other institutions, whether they're foreign or domestic, to get you to study whatever you want to do, wherever you want to go. Something else that sets us apart is our access to research. So about 80% of our undergraduate students are participating in research while they're at the university. So that is a massive number, and that is kind of everywhere. That's not just focused in the hard sciences like biology and chemistry, but it is expanding into art history. We've got humanities research. We've got a couple of permanent research labs on campus, like aid data, which studies global development, as well as some linguistics laboratories. It's very, very easy to get involved, and we've also got funding available if you are interested in pursuing your own research. All right, so a little bit about applications and deadlines and things like that. So first of all, as it goes to applications, we are still test optional. We'll be test optional this year and the following year as we kind of see how that shakes out. So if you haven't had a chance to take the SAT or the ACT, or maybe you're not too happy with your test scores, or you're worried about taking it, you can always apply test optional. With the application, keep an eye out for senior interviews that are coming available for this summer. So we do have an option for students to add to their application by interviewing with one of our current William & Mary seniors. Those will be available online. They will be virtual this summer. Finally, go ahead and check out our application deadlines. We are an early decision school. We have 2 options for that. And then finally, we hope to see you on campus as soon as we are able to do so. If you are interested in visiting in person, we do have self-guided tours available now, and we will be opening for the general public in the next month or 2. So keep an eye out for any announcements about that. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Our next presenter is Columbia University International Dual Degree Program.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for attending this session and for your interest in in all of these universities, but also the specific programs. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So I'm not sure if you're seeing this correctly. Sorry, one second.
We can see. Yeah, if you just want to go back to that screen again.
Sure. Okay, sorry about that.
And then
I'll just do the presenter slide, one second.
Yes, just at the bottom there.
So first of all, I'd just like to introduce myself. My name is Daphne Gottesman, and I'm an associate admissions manager at Columbia School of General Studies. And I work in the admissions office and in recruitment for all of the dual degree programs at Columbia. So this presentation is not focused on Columbia College or Barnard College. This is focused in particular about the dual degree programs that we offer, and in particular about our TAU dual degree program, our Tel Aviv University dual degree program. As you can see here, we actually have 3 different dual degree programs because we at Columbia are really pioneers in this kind of program where essentially students are able to spend 2 years at an institution abroad and be fully enrolled students at that institution, and then come to Columbia and spend 2 years at Columbia and graduate with a degree from both degrees. So we have a relationship with Sciences Po in France for students who are interested in the social sciences in particular, our Trinity College Dublin, and we also have a relationship with Tel Aviv University in particular. So I'm going to be focusing on that program in particular. And all of our programs really are very similar in their essence, but they're kind of different animals. So you have for Tel Aviv, you spend years 1 and 2 at Tel Aviv University as part of TAU International. All courses are taught in English, TAU International, and you spend years 3 and 4 at Columbia University as part of the School of General Studies. And you're able to major in any of the liberal arts majors offered at Columbia, and I'll be going into that in a moment. Students are assigned both TAU and Columbia academic advisors throughout all 4 years of the program, not just when you arrive at Columbia. And at the end, as I mentioned, students graduate with 2 Bachelors of Arts diplomas, one from TAU International and one from Columbia University. In terms of the academics that are offered at TAU, it's important to know that all TAU International students, in particular in the liberal arts division in the dual degree program, select a major and minor from the list here. You'll see that the subjects are very much focused on the liberal arts, on humanities, on the sciences. So this is really the list in terms of the academic options that are available to you at TAU, but it's a really fantastic program for somebody that's actually interested in many different subjects, because the TAU degree is structured so that you're able to take many electives and many different subjects outside of your major and minor as well. As I mentioned, at Columbia, you're able to select from more than 80 majors offered at Columbia, regardless of what you studied at TAU. And depending on the kind of major that you want to select, it might take you more time to finish the degree. If you decide to attend an information session where we go much more in depth about this, I'll be able to extrapolate about that a little bit more. But the vast majorities of the majors that you would select at Columbia, and combined with our TAU majors, would be able to be completed in 4 years. Regardless, you have the guidance of your academic advisor, both at Columbia and TAU throughout the entire process to make sure that everything is going smoothly. In terms of Jewish life, that's at TAU, aside from the fact that the academic calendar respects Jewish and Israeli holidays, you also have daily prayers held at Symbolista Synagogue, which is the synagogue located on TAU's campus. We have a Bet Midrash with Judaic resources. We have a Jewish Heritage Center and Judaica Museum that really hosts many events that kind of are trying to have a dialogue about the role of Judaism today in conversation with Israel and Israeli politics and everything that's going on in the world. We also have a TAU Hillel on campus, very active, and as well, all food on campus is kosher as well. In terms of tuition and fees, it's important to mention for this specific program because students actually pay tuition for the institution that they're currently attending. So you pay Tel Aviv University tuition during years 1 and 2, and then you pay Columbia tuition during years 3 and 4. You're eligible for federal aid and institutional aid for both portions of the program, so both at TAU and at Columbia University. In terms of our application process, it's important to mention that we don't have an early decision or early action is not offered as part of our dual degree system, but you can only apply to one Columbia program. So you cannot apply to several dual degree programs, and you cannot apply to Columbia College and this program. So you have to kind of choose the Columbia experience that you want. The exception to this is Barnard. You are able to apply to Barnard and this program. The application can be found on our dual degree program website and not on the Common App. So that's really important. So if you're looking for this specific program, you'll find it on the Common App. And in terms of financial aid, as I mentioned earlier, federal aid, you can be eligible for federal aid and institutional aid from both TAU and Columbia. And we are need blind. And the way that you do that is that you apply using the FAFSA and the CSS profile. And in terms of contacting us, the thing is that this program there's a lot of information in terms of academics, student life for each institution. So I actually really recommend that you register for an information session where we really go in depth about what each program offers in terms of academics and student life and all of that. You can do that on our dual degree website, tau.gs.columbia.edu. And you can also do that by, if you're interested in speaking with the dual degree team directly, you can schedule a phone appointment with admissions on our website, and we'll be in touch and in conversation with you about that. Thank you so much for listening. And if you're interested in asking any questions in particular, please feel free to reach out in the chat, in the Q&A. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Our next presenter is McGill University.
Wonderful, thank you. Hello, everybody. My name is Corinne. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a recruitment coordinator here at McGill. We also have the lovely Maddie, who is one of our student ambassadors here in the chat, so she can help answer any questions that you may have both during or after our presentation. So today we're going to be going over the Jewish student experience here at McGill, really focusing on the supports that we provide to Jewish students on campus and in Montreal. So a quick school overview. We are located in the heart of the lovely Montreal, Quebec, up north in Canada, and we have over 300 programs for students to choose from at 2 distinct campuses. Additionally, tons of research opportunities that you can start as early as your first year, regardless of what faculty you're in. We have it for STEM courses, arts courses, and many of our other faculties as well. Additionally, we have lots of collaboration with other universities, both locally in Canada and the States and internationally, as well as a global network that you can access both during your undergraduate career and beyond. We have an alumni network of almost 300,000 people worldwide, which means you will always have someone to network with from your time at McGill, or a couch to sleep on somewhere in the world after you end up graduating due to our highly international student population. Additionally, because of this global network, we also have tons of academic and work opportunities abroad that you can partake in during your undergraduate career. A little bit about Montreal. So Montreal is such a vibrant cultural hub. We have tons of museums, galleries, cinemas, theaters, festivals, and concerts, which are definitely a fan favorite for our students, including Osheaga, which is kind of like a Coachella type music festival that happens in the summertime, as well as many other smaller concerts and the Montreal Jazz Festival that we have every year. Additionally, we have the most restaurants per capita, just following New York City. As well as cafes. Our students definitely love to do cafe crawls, usually in the fall semester when the weather's nice, where you go and study at different cafes around the city with your friends, just to get a break from campus and the libraries that we offer. Additionally, we have tons of outdoor activities in Montreal, including skiing, skating, hiking, and lots of other rowing, lots of other activities that you can partake in specifically as a McGill student or as a new Montreal Montrealer. Additionally, lots of outdoor spaces just outside the city. We have tons of access to nature both in and outside of Montreal. So more specifically about community resources for Jewish students on campus, we have lots of fantastic organizations, including the McGill Hillel Jewish Student Society, the Chabad House Student Society, Israel on campus, and lots of kosher options in Montreal and on campus. I'll get more into the kind of activities that those student organizations do in the next couple of slides, but to speak about our kosher options briefly, like many of the other universities today have mentioned, we have kosher options in all of the cafeterias and dining halls in our residences. Additionally, we have all the chefs in our residence dining halls as well. So if you have any other dietary needs, including dairy-free, nut-free, vegan, vegetarian, we offer all of those as well. And you can actually speak to the chefs to find out what meal options work for you every day, and also build a nice rapport with the chefs. And sometimes they give you a little extra sauce on the side, which is a very nice bonus. And we also have a great kosher option right off of campus called Le Petzel, which is a fantastic little cafe for students to go and study, and offers completely kosher options for students, and a really nice kind of community and study space. So more about our events and supports. We have the wonderful Rabbi Shmuley and Rashi Weiss on campus with their 2 daughters and their young son. You can see in the top photo there. Their whole philosophy for campus life at McGill and what they offer to Jewish students is they want to be a family and a home away from home for their students. On campus, they're available 24/7. They often open up their house to students on campus for events for students in all the years, which is really nice. They also help host the Friday night Shabbat dinners, which is great. And I highly recommend, especially in your first year, because it's a great way to meet older Jewish students on campus, and as well as your first year peers. Additionally, there is the Jewish Study Buddies Club, the Hebrew and Yiddish tutoring, which are part of the Jewish Studies Student Association, which I'll talk more about in the next slide, but those are some fantastic resources to utilize. And for the Hebrew and Yiddish and the Study Buddies, you actually don't have to be enrolled in any specific Jewish study courses or language courses to take those. If you just want to practice your languages, it's a great option for that. Additionally, we have scholarships specifically for Jewish students, and as well general entrance scholarships, which are open to students in the States. So with our academics and Judaism on campus, we have the Department of Jewish Studies, which is fantastic. It has over 30 courses for you to choose from, plus our language courses. And you can take it as a major or a minor, or just take the courses as electives. Like I mentioned, we have the Jewish Studies Student Association. They do great event programming on campus, like the ones I mentioned earlier. They also help run the Dorot, which is the McGill Undergraduate Journal for Jewish Studies. This is a great way to get published if you're looking at postgraduate research, and they publish articles in English, Hebrew, Yiddish, and French. So if you speak any of those languages or write in any of those languages, you can actually get published in your undergraduate, which is pretty special. So while this was a quick presentation, we definitely invite you to take our campus tour, where you get to see more about our programs, our campus, hear from current students, and just get more of a sense for what life at McGill is like. And I will post all the information for that in the chat. We invite you to stay connected with us, and just wanted to thank you so much for joining us here today, and we'll pass it on to Drexel University. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, Drexel, you can go next.
All right, thank you. Sorry about that. I couldn't unmute myself. Well, thank you all, and good afternoon, good morning from wherever you're joining us. Thank you for attending today and for letting me speak with you. My name is Jennifer Brown, and I am an Associate Director of Undergraduate Admissions here at Drexel University. We are located right in Philadelphia, which is a city in Pennsylvania, for those of you not familiar with us. So we're also a comprehensive research university and experiential learning leader. And in terms of research, we are an R1 institution, so we have research performing at the highest level here on campus. So not only is that mean that our professors are at the forefront of their fields, but we also have a ton of opportunities for our undergraduate students to take part in research, including a program called STAR, which is Students Tackling Advanced Research, that would allow our students to do research the summer after their very first year at Drexel. So if you're interested in that, please check that out. And experiential learning is the foundation of everything that we do here at Drexel. We were founded in 1891 by A.J. Drexel, who really saw at that time the world was also changing, and that he really wanted an institution that would prepare students for what they would actually face. So that's been everything that we've built up here at Drexel, and that experiential learning is most seen in our cooperative education program, which we call co-op, which I'll talk about in just a few minutes. But first, I did want to give a few kind of things and points to compare. So like any other research institution, we are a little bit bigger. We're a mid-sized private university with over 14,000 students, but we have a median class size still of just 19 students. So I love that about Drexel, where you have all of the amenities of a larger university, but the individualized attention of a smaller one. And you'll have a very diverse experience here at Drexel, a great hallmark of that experience, again, with students from across the country and the world that you'll be meeting and learning from. And then that growing alumni network, which is also really important to us, because of course, we want you to come and be successful students here at Drexel, but we also want you to be that successful alumnus, because that's really the point of all of that. So to start that pathway here at Drexel, we have over 80 undergraduate majors that are housed within these 15 colleges and schools that you see here coming up on my screen. So really, as I always like to say, we probably have a little something for everyone, because when you apply to Drexel, you're applying directly into your major. You're going to start in that major. But if you're a little bit unsure about what you want to do, you're thinking, I'm interested in engineering, but I'm not quite sure which major. We do have some undeclared majors within these colleges and schools. We have undeclared engineering, but you might not have any idea what you want to do, and that's okay. That's very normal. We do have a first year exploratory studies program for that undecided student, so that for your first year here, you're going to be taking classes kind of across that curriculum to really hone in on what it is that you're interested and passionate about. And for that application process, it'll look similar. We have a holistic application review. We take the common application and that coalition application. Of course, we want your transcripts, that admissions essay, and 2 letters of recommendation. We are test optional for fall 2022 and 2023. So that will be up to you if you did want to provide any standardized test scores to us as well. The important things to remember if you're interested in applying will be those deadlines. For our early action and early decision deadline, that is November 1st, and our regular decision deadline is January 15th. There may be some supplemental materials for your application depending on what program you are interested in. So definitely check out your website. Let us know if you have questions during that process. We do offer some combined and accelerated degrees. So if you're really sure about what you want to do, we have some of those guided and provisional pathways that can get you to that graduate degree sooner. So you can also check those out. But of course, our ultimate enhancement of academics is that cooperative education program, which we call co-op here. And that is a real world work experience that is built into your time at Drexel and directly related to what you're studying. So you can come here and come out with up to 18 months of work experience. So this program is one of the oldest and largest in the country. Our program began in 1919. So we've been doing this for over 100 years. We are very proud of this program, and we're very well known in the industry. We have over 1,500 co-op employers that work with us regularly that post these positions for our students to apply into. They want to work with Drexel students. So it's like an internship, but it's so much more than that because you're out for 6 months at a time. And so these are just a few examples of the things our students have done out on co-op. And this is available to any of our majors here. So everything from really big name companies like Facebook and Microsoft and NASA to startup companies, nonprofits, private versus public, working for a federal government. So it's really your chance to take charge of your education and what you would really want to make of it. So I could go on and on about this program. So let me know if you do have questions. But that experiential learning and getting that practical learning is really important important to us here at Drexel so that we can make sure that you found what you actually want to do when you leave here. We also, although we're right in the city, have a very traditional student life experience. So we have Division I athletics. We are the Dragons. You can cheer us on. Mario has joined us today, Mario the Magnificent. If you want to follow more of his adventures, we now have a Drexel Admission TikTok. So it's just at Drexel Admission, check that out. We have over 300 student clubs and organizations as well. So no matter where you end up, definitely get involved on campus. It's a great way to feel connected. And we of course have our Hillel at Drexel and Chabad. So however you would want to interact with that, we are there to support you as well. Our Hillel building is actually one of the most beautiful buildings in my opinion on campus. I love it there. But we're also right in the middle of Philadelphia. So we want you to get out there and explore. It's in your backyard, but there's a ton to do on campus. So it's really hard to be bored here. We also are on track to be, our big goal is to be the most civically engaged university in the country, as you can see. So we're also there to really be a part of the community and support it and give back. So there are a lot of ways to do that as well. So if you do have any questions for me, this is my contact information. I'm happy to answer more about our financial aid, including merit-based scholarship, as well as need-based grants that we may have and how to apply that. So please let me know and I will drop my information in the chat for you. And thank you.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us. That's all of our time today. At the end of this, when we close this window, there'll be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We'd love any feedback that you can provide. Again, this is just one of many different sessions being hosted, so please sign up for more. And in about a week, you'll be able to find this sessions recording as well as many other sessions recordings at strivescan.jewishstudentfair. And with that, thank you. Thank you again to all of our presenters and have a wonderful rest of your weekend.